Hi everyone, today let's discuss IELTS listening tips and tricks. I'm going to give you 10 different tips in order to gain maximum bands in your upcoming IELTS listening test. So without wasting a moment, let's dive into today's presentation. As you can see on your screen, in IELTS listening, there are 40 minutes, 30 plus 10, which means 30 minutes for the test. The audio recording will last for 30 minutes and then 10 minutes would be given to you to transfer your answers from question paper to the answer sheet. Each IELTS listening test comprises of 4 different parts. Each part has different sections which are visible on your screen. You can go through them and then we're going to explain them in detail. So let's move forward and start with the tips. There are 10 tips in today's presentation and they are divided into 4 subsections. Firstly, the tips to prepare IELTS before the exam. Then in the exam before you listen, in the exam while you are listening, and few tips for the process in the exam after you listen. And how to deal with this, like listening is a trickier module in which you are listening as well as writing the things at the same time. Let's move forward and find out what's tip number 1. Before you take the exam, practice, practice, and practice, because practice makes a man perfect. So there are 3 things native speakers that you need to understand. Even native speakers cannot attain 100% score. Firstly, you should at least practice 1 test per week and force yourself to listen once only. This is how you can improve your listening skills of English. Tip number 2 says, get used to different accents. As you know, the most familiar accents are British and American. But there are others as well, including Australian accent, Canadian accent. So you must be able to differentiate between the 2 types or 3 or 4 different accents. You should work on the British accent, improve your ability in it. And let's move forward. Tip number 3 states, understand word building. For example, using the prefixes and suffixes to modify or create new words. For example, geothermic, biotechnology, precognition. As you see, there are 3 syllables in all these 3 words. So focus on the syllables. Also used for these, understanding the syllables is also useful for IELTS reading. It tests your ability to understand unknown words from their context. Help with spelling and part 3 and 4 as well. So this is one of the most important tips regarding IELTS listening test. Tip number 4 says, like during the exam, in the exam before you listen, read the questions. Use all the time they give you. It's easy to make mistakes. IELTS will try to trick you as well. So think about the topic and vocabulary and try to predict the answers. Now, parts of speech, synonyms, tricks. So here you need to understand one thing very critically, that you won't understand everything. Relax and don't panic. Trust your ears, write what you hear, not what you imagine. Similarly, we need to go through the pronunciation of confusing numbers like number 13, 13 and 30, 17 and 70, 16 and 60. Work on it, try to understand how native English speakers try to pronounce and speak these words or numbers. Then comes tip number 5, which says completing information. Top to bottom or 1 to 10. Same for reading, don't give extra information. Go through the guidelines and instructions. If your examiner is asking you to do something, follow those instructions critically. In the exam, while you are listening, here comes tip number 6, which says just listen. Do not read and listen at the same time. Section number 1 and 2. To deal with these sections, you need to write your answers, but don't erase or check. If you aren't sure, write both ideas and choose at the end. In section number 3 and 4, try closing your eyes and just listening. Visualize the information, see it in your mind, write answers after you listen in the given period of time. Tip number 7 says spelling is important. So check at the end, not while you're listening. Plurals or singulars, plus S or plus ES, princes, churches. Similarly, there are signs like percentage, sign of percentage, euro sign, dollar sign, or maybe like currency signs are there. Remember, trust what you hear. Don't trust your imagination. Unknown words, in order to deal with them, do your best guesses, think about English spelling patterns, and know your prefixes and fixes. Then we have tip number 8, which says look forward, not back. Because time is quite crucial thing, and you must keep one thing in mind, that audio is not going to stop for you. See, so that's why you only hear it once. Read what's coming, not what you just did. Don't check your answers. Use keywords to keep up. Don't get stressed, but stay focused. Sections 3 and 4. Try closing your eyes and just listening. Number 9, tip number 9. It says visualize the content which you are listening. So, first of all, use this technique for parts 3 and 4. See the information in your mind. This will help you focus and remember details. You can even close your eyes, focus on detail, and practice at home. I hope that these tips are quite easy to understand and they will help you a lot, definitely, in order to get more bands. After you listen, here comes tip number 10, which is use the time. Now check, and check again or read ahead. Section 1 and 2, in these two sections, check for spellings, plurals, number of words. In section 3 and 4, check your answer matches the meaning of the question or fill the gap. Check part of speeches, noun or words, verb tense or plural nouns. These were the 10 tips which I have highlighted for you people so that you can end up gaining 7.5 or maybe higher bands in your IELTS listening test. That is all for the day. I hope that you're gonna do your best in your exams. Thank you so much.